I now talk about, it's now time to discuss some of the top headlines going on in the world of football, now from a world of soccer, now from a U.S., an American soccer fan. Obviously, one of the biggest news coming out today is Weston McKennie, him going to Aston Villa. Now, really, the big news in terms of world football is the fact that Douglas Luiz is signing with Juventus, which is a little bit of a disappointing move for Aston Villa, who finally get into the Champions League, and now they lose their star, one of the best midfielders in the Premier League, in Douglas Luiz. He's going to be going to Aston Villa, to Juventus, and Weston McKennie will be going to Aston Villa, which now let's discuss this from a Weston McKennie point of view. Is this a good move? Yes. When you look at the fact that he's going to be coached by Unai Emery, that gets the best out of the talent that he has. There's going to be a spot available for him in that midfield with Douglas Luiz going the other way, so he will have opportunities to play. He was not the best in his stint in the Premier League when he was on loan at Leeds United, but this is a different Weston McKennie right now, and that was a bad proposition he entered himself in with that Leeds United side. Now he's going in an Aston Villa team that has a set midfield. He'll be playing alongside with the likes of a John McGinn that does complement him well, and that does a little bit, that gives him, he's a great double pivot, John McGinn, to play next to McKennie. And McKennie led this season for Juventus in terms of assists, and I don't think he ever got the respect that he deserved at Juventus. Weston McKennie, he's a very, very good player. In the way Unai Emery presses, he's going to be very vital. He fits that mold, because they're very good at pressing. They're good at winning the ball back. They have the ability to hold the ball and drive into midfield. And, I think this is a good move for Weston McKennie. They're also going to be playing in Champions League football, so it's not a huge drop-off for him. And you also look at it from the fact that Weston McKennie, he's gonna have so many options to get into that rotation. So I can't sleep on Weston McKennie. I think Weston McKennie is a player that doesn't really get the respect he deserves in world football. And, there's people saying, yeah, he's going to probably play 10, 15 games, only start 10, 15 games this season. I don't believe that. I think this is a guy that came in, he led the league, or he led Juventus in assists in a campaign that they finished in the Champions League spot. This is a very, very talented player that gives you a little bit of everything in Weston McKennie. He has that ability to get into the box and score goals. He has the ability to drive forward. He has the ability to create for his teammates. He has the ability to press and win the ball high up the field. He's a jack of all trades. He's a very versatile midfielder. He can play right underneath a striker. He can play as an 8. He can play as a double pivot. He is an important player, and to say he's only going to play 10, 15 games is a little ridiculous, in my opinion. So I don't think it's as bad of a move as, some people are trying to make it at. Gareth Southgate, he has said he's going to be gone. He's most likely gone, or he's going to quit. Most likely, he's going to quit or he said, I'll probably quit if England lose the European Championship. England, he said, he talked about how he almost quit after the World Cup, and he questioned whether or not he's the best man to lead the team forward. He's not, in my opinion. But and then now he's gonna make this sort of decision after the European Championship in Germany. Now he told a German newspaper this: if we don't win the Euros, I probably won't be here anymore. Then it might be the last chance. I think about half of the national coaches leave after a tournament. That's the nature of international football. I've been here for almost 8 years now, and we've came close. So I know that you can't keep standing in front of the public and saying, please do a little bit more, because at some point people will lose faith in your message. If we want to be a big team and I want to be a top coach, then you have to deliver in the big moments. But, all those quotes are good and all, but at the end of the day, I don't know if it's the fact that he wants to quit as an England manager, or is that the fact that the pressure is on him, and there's a lot of fans that don't believe he is the right man for the job, and he feels unwanted at England because he says if England fail to win European Championship, he's most likely gonna quit. So it's clear that this is not something he necessarily wants to do. Is something that he just needs. It's finally he's thinking it's finally time. The pressure is just too much. They don't think I'm enough. Let me just, let's just pass the reins on to someone else. And that's sad, but he's not good enough. Let's be honest, he is not good enough. And I think it's good news if you're an English fan. Southgate, when he was talking about this, when he was talking to the newspaper, he discussed a little bit about the backlash that Fabio Capello got whenever he agreed to stay as England manager, despite getting interest from Inter Milan before the World Cup in 2010. And he said the reason is that there would have been more criticism, which could have put more pressure on the team. England did that once before with Fabio Capello, and there was a big drama before the tournament. It's better to check yourself after the tournament, in reference to potentially, talking about signing a contract extension before the European Championship. It's clear where he lies. The Japanese Olympic team defeated the United States Olympic team in the US's final game to warm up for the Olympics. And it's a performance that was pretty bad. Shota Fujio converted a penalty kick after 5 minutes or after 6 minutes, and then Mao Hosoyo scored a goal in the 70th minute, and they won the game 2-0. And this is their last warm-up match for the Olympics. The U.S. Olympic soccer coach Marko Mitrovic said, since we started the process 8 months ago, this was, I would say, the lowest performance by far that we had. I strongly believe that this group can do much better than they showed today. Japan scored their first goal with the penalty kick after Brian Reynolds, who had a shocker of a game, flicked the ball off his right arm on the edge of the penalty area. And then the second goal came after a throw-in by John Tolkien being intercepted by Shunsuke Mito, who dribbled to the goal and, was able to find the Hosoya after a deflection, and he tapped it in from point-blank range. Paxton Aronson came out afterwards saying, obviously, it wasn't the kind of game that we wanted to end off this journey on going into the Olympics. But these guys know that one game... and he said these guys don't know that one game doesn't define us. It's a bad position that finds themselves in, with the fact that their next game that they're going to face is going up against the home team of the Olympic Games in France, which is a very difficult task. Now, they also play New Zealand and Guinea, which are teams that they're fully expected to defeat. But bad way to enter the Olympic Games. Walker Zimmerman, 31-year-old, he was the one that captained the U.S., and he was the only one to dress as an overage player. And, honestly, I don't understand that. I don't know if they plan on bringing more overage players. I need to hear more about it. But a bad way to start, and a bad few days in general for the U.S. soccer program, who now are going to play within a few hours, within the next 24 hours or so, going to take on the Brazilian national team, the U.S. men's national team. So, it could only get worse from here. This is the end of the GSMC Soccer Podcast for today. Thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Soccer Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us. So please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. Thank you once again and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Let's go.